professor, I will test you in the worst way. Don't bring a scantron, it's pop quizzes all day. Cause of our chemistry, we do biology.
What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Subscriber die trying. You see the thumbnail, man. Like, so what happens when the younger men, boys, teenagers plug themselves into the black manosphere? See, people get upset at, they still bring up the passport bros thing, and you got you really got grown women complaining, and then you have younger women, they're getting video left and right, being really entitled when it comes to their dating and mating point of view. And you've heard this over and over and over again, where younger kids in high school listen to the content and they're like, huh? And the interactions with the young girls in their age groups are lessening compared to how they did in the past. And the problem is what? If more young boys get plugged into the black manosphere at a younger age, what's going to happen? They're basically getting the information that a lot of sons who were raised by single mothers didn't get from the men, from their fathers or uncles or men on their father's side of the family, and sometimes even the men on their side of the family. So it's like a culture shock. And sometimes y'all don't want to hear it, but you might not like the black manosphere. Some people might not, but a vast majority of the things that the brothers are talking about, we're right about. So it becomes a tug of war between right and wrong in a sense, because people want to downplay the space and just say you're wrong because I say so, because I don't like what you said, and you got young boys like, I don't want to be on the short end of the stick. I'm sick of being thrown under the bus, even at a young age. So they're getting plugged into the space and they're like, you know what? That makes sense. That's what's going on. And unfortunately, you ladies, y'all don't really think about this, but there's really not that much of a difference in female dating ideology in high school girls all the way up to adult women in their 40s. Like it's not, in a general sense, the consensus is it's pretty much the same. When y'all young and you want older guys who got more money and can take you places, blah blah blah. When you're older, you want a guy who got more than you, who can take you places, blah blah blah. You want a guy with resources, right? Or somebody who's popular. Anything along those lines. So what winds up happening is you find yourself in a situation where younger guys are listening, and they kind of listen. And I've talked about how can I put this? I've talked about how things are kind of like, you got to be a shock jock sometimes to be shocking to get people's attention. But also, how can I say that? Because I'm trying not to cuss, y'all. Okay, I got it. You got young boys realizing what their mom's doing, what their sisters doing, what their aunts are doing, and they come into the space and they're hiding. They're hiding what they're hearing from their family. I talked about older guys like not wanting to share material, but there's a bunch of younger guys who take information in like it's on TikTok, and they're like, okay, I see this, I'm peeping this, and you're seeing more young men have an exit strategy as far as dealing with black young girls. You know, plus, a lot of y'all don't want to hear it, but there are a lot of mothers who put their sons on game and say, you know what, this girl's playing you, this girl's using you, blah, 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 blah. And even though their mothers are being honest, they're like, man, nah, really? And then they hear what the Black Manosphere says, and it really mirrors what their mom is saying, and it's like, okay, they like this. So, unfortunately, you young ladies and you grown women have a future where nobody's really gonna take or put up with your BS. So now it's become an issue because you ladies want more, but you're not gonna do better. So and now guys are one of their standards is you doing better than you've been doing, or being realistic, or being fair. And it's got to the point where men are accustomed to the understanding that women, you're not going to do right by these guys. It's not going to be fair. It's going to be some BS. So since it's going to be some BS, here we go. And since it's going to be some BS, I've got all the game. I'm prepared. They plug it in the Manosphere, and they basically going out into the world. Because one thing we was upset about well, I can't say we, but I had been upset about a time or two is guys really taking in the information, but really not going into the real world. These younger kids, especially like the high school, college, they're already interacting with the opposite sex. And it's just like what the guys are saying is going on with the adults, with the girls, because the mothers of these girls are teaching them the same negative things that the men are, quote unquote, complaining about. So they're seeing her like, nah, I'm good. I'm good. So even if there's a rise in interracial dating, the girls are like, I'm not doing nothing wrong. And the guys are like, you doing a whole lot wrong, but forget it. I ain't going to worry about it. And now the young guys are, I would say, when these young guys become grown men and they're on their own and on their own 2 feet, they're going to be unapologetic. They're not going to be hidden avatars like people are now. They're going to be flat out in your face, this is how I grew up. I'm spreading the information because these guys didn't tell me no lies. Now, some guys do tell you lies. I'm not going to say they don't. But for the most part, you were given so much truth that it becomes a way of life. So tell me what you think. Like, share, subscribe, or die trying. Catch y'all on the next one. Peace. You ever been at the top of the universe?
I'm gonna take it.